You are most welcome to our fourth episode of SURDS. Today we shall look at rationalization of the denominator. A number such as 1 over root 2 can be written or evaluated by first expressing it as a rational with a rational denominator. For instance, if we have 1 over root 2, then how shall we rationalize the denominator of this fraction? It is a fraction whose denominator is an irrational number. So we are converting an irrational number or denominator into a rational one. The process of doing this is what we term as rationalization, meaning we are to convert root 2 into a rational number. How do we do this? We shall do this by multiplying root 2 both up and down. That is to say, if we have 1 over root 2, then we get this denominator, which is root 2, we multiply it below and above, so that we get 1 times root 2 and root 2 times root 2. Hence, in doing so, we are converting root 2 into a rational number. You realize that if we multiply root 2 times root 2, then we shall get 2, which is a rational number. In doing this, we are rationalizing the denominator of the fraction. So we shall end up with root 2 over 2. That is how we shall rationalize the denominator of the fraction. In our example 2, we have 12 over root 18. Still, we can do the same, or this time round we can first of all simplify root 18, since it can be simplified, and we know that 18 has 9 and 2 as its factors, where 9 is a square number. So we shall get root 9 times root 2 instead of root 18, hence giving us 12 over 3 root 2. And if you have 12 over 3 root 2, remember the 3 can reduce 12 to 4, hence giving us 4 over root 2. And then from there we shall multiply root 2 both up and down to end up with 4 root 2 over 2. But still, the 2 down can reduce the 4 up, and therefore we get our final answer as 2 root 2. That is how we shall rationalize the denominator. Let's continue. Yes, we have our example 5, whereby we are told to simplify 5 over 2 root 3 by rationalizing the denominator. Yes, we saw what rationalizing means. and we can do this. So if we have root 5 over 2 root 3, then that means that we shall multiply the root 3 that is down is multiplied by the numerator and the denominator of the fraction. This time we don't take the rational number, which is a 2. No, we only rationalize the irrational root. So meaning that we shall multiply root 3 both up and down, hence coming up with root 15 over 2 times 3, which gives us root 15 over 6. So that is how we shall rationalize such a fraction. When we are rationalizing, we don't take the rational number 2. We leave the 2 and only multiply with the irrational root, that is root 3, which is multiplied both up and down to give us root 15 over 6. When we look at our example 6, which tells us to rationalize the denominator of 1 over root 5 plus 2, this time round it is a bit different. And now what do? This time round we shall get what we call the conjugate of root 5 plus 2. The conjugate is where we change the sign. Since we have a plus, then its conjugate will be root 5 minus 2. That's the conjugate side of root 5 plus 2. After getting the conjugate side, which is root 5 minus 2, then this conjugate side is multiplied both up and down, and that gives us that gives us 1 times root 5 minus 2 over root 5 plus 2 times root 5 minus 2. But to multiply clearly, we put these in brackets. Then, since we have two brackets, we can now open the brackets, multiply and simplify. For the numerator, since it is 1 times any number, we get the very number. So we shall remain with root 5 minus 2 as our numerator. Then the denominator, since we have two expressions or two brackets, that is root 5 plus 2 and root 5 minus 2. So we expand this. The easiest way of doing this is by bringing in the idea of difference of two squares. If you are at that point, if you have not yet reached that point, then we shall do our usual expanding and simplifying. When you expand the two brackets, we maintain the second bracket of root 5 minus 2 and split the first bracket of root 5 plus 2, whereby root 5 will multiply the second bracket to get root 5 into root 5 minus 2. Then also the plus 2 multiplies the second bracket, where we have plus 2 into root 5 minus 2. And when we simplify, we end up with 5 minus 4, giving us 1. And remember, any number divided by 1 is that very number. Therefore, our final answer is root 5 minus 2. Yes, you can try out as many examples as possible, because practice makes improvement and probably perfection. So after acquiring that knowledge about rationalizing, you are going to try out that exercise 6.2 to evaluate what you have learned, and still you can add on as more as you can. We have very many numbers to try out here, so it's better you get enough time and go through some of these numbers. This is one of the basic topics you must know if you are to enjoy this taken to be stubborn subject. Otherwise, we can meet for our next episode. I wish you the best.